Hello, I'm Bill Wesley, and I am your son or daughter's instructor for the 3 AP Language and Composition course. And please forgive the headphones around my neck. They have a microphone attached to it, and it should provide a better sound quality. I'm going to share with you a Google Slides presentation that'll help keep me on schedule a little bit and give you some words or visuals to go with my words. And let me share the screen with you. It'll just take a second, and appreciate you being patient with the delays. Some of you are familiar with this type of delay in Zoom, and certainly your sons and daughters are getting used to it as well. So my name is Mr. Wesley. My email is there. And I want to get into discussing some of the specifics, though, of the course after I share a little bit about myself. So undergraduate schooling was at St. Norbert College in De Pere, Wisconsin, and my graduate school work was at Northwestern University. I have been teaching for 20 or 21 years now. Most of those, I think 14 or 15 of those, teaching AP courses. Both junior and senior level AP courses. And, but I've taught pretty much every level of English in a variety of different classes. Enjoy it very much. I have a wonderful wife and two lovely daughters, and a little bit more about my background prior to teaching. I was actually an environmental consultant for about 10 years. And did most of my work consulting for the U.S. Environmental Protection Agency, specializing in investigation and cleanup of, industrial and military sites. And interestingly enough, I think I did more writing in that field than I do now as an English teacher. Now I read other people's writing, but back then I had to write a lot of long, boring reports. But got to convey that information some way. So let us go down to our next slide and give you an overview of the course. We primarily study rhetoric and American literature, like a lot of junior year courses across the United States. We've kept a strong American literature component to this course while still incorporating a teaching of the rhetorical awareness and rhetorical analysis skills that are necessary to succeed on the AP Language and Composition exam, which the students take in May. A quick look at our major units and text. We start out the year reading Into the Wild. And concurrent with that, I also, and this is true of most of the teachers, are teaching an introduction to rhetoric as well. And I found that goes it works out very well with that book. And students generally really enjoy that book. It's highly engaging, and so maybe it's that spoonful of sugar helping the medicine go down. They seem to accept the rhetoric fairly well also. The next book we read, actually prior to reading The Awakening, we read some of the transcendentalist authors like Emerson, Thoreau, Whitman, and such, and we use them as a springboard into looking at the protagonist of The Awakening, Edna, and her attempts to transcend the culture that she lives in and what's expected of her. That usually culminates in a research-based assignment where they evaluate someone outside of literary circles who they think embodies the transcendentalist values of living life according to one's truth and one's ideals. In the second semester, we read Toni Morrison's terrific and very important book, Beloved, which takes a look at slavery and the legacy of slavery. And I think it's a book that is as important now as ever. And that leads us next into The Great Gatsby, which continues to look at the American story, I guess I'll call it. And this book, most of us read when we were in high school. And interestingly, it remains a student favorite. We have great discussions and do some really interesting writing surrounding The Great Gatsby, as well as Beloved. And then we next read The Things They Carried, which is Tim O'Brien's book, which combines, I guess, fiction and nonfiction techniques and approaches, kind of blends the two, and looks at the Vietnam War. And like so many books in this class, it helps complement and provide depth to much of what they're studying in their U.S. history class. Finally, towards the end of the year, usually starting in April, we start preparing students a little more directly for the AP language and composition exam. They've already been preparing through rhetorical and literary analysis with the works that we've been reading. But now we make sure that they're comfortable with the exam format and pacing. And this has worked well in past years. Some things about our remote environment. Obviously, we've been using Canvas for a while, but it's more important than ever. And I want to let you know that I think trained most of your sons and daughters fairly well, or other teachers have, to go to Canvas to start their day. And I post my Zoom link for our class there, as well as the assignments, a weekly calendar, and probably some other things that I'm forgetting. My daily lesson plans, which really contain virtually all the information or links to the information that they need, is also available right on that front page. And my email address is provided there as well. Another thing related to this remote environment is students, as they've been able to do in the past, and of course parents as well, can email me with questions. And sometimes we resolve things through emails. Other times it may require some more one-on-one discussion. And so the Zoom link that we use for our class, and which is on our Canvas page, we can use for those one-on-one, face-to-face, so to speak, discussions. And I'm typically available from 7:45 to 8:45, Tuesdays through Fridays. And Mondays we have some teacher meetings going on in the morning. And then after school, from 3 to 4 on Mondays and Fridays, I'm available. And let's see, let's move to our next screen. Grades. The grading system is, like most classes, a mixture of formative, which are essentially practice assessments, and summative assessments. And summatives actually impact the grade, while formatives don't. Some formatives I will enter into the campus as either a 1 through 4 score, depending on the quality of it or the thoroughness of it, or maybe it's just a turned in or a not turned in. And so it really just gives us a little bit of a progress check and an engagement check, but they don't affect the grade calculation in any way. They're practice, ultimately. Summative assessments, those do influence the grade. They're factored in. We have 3 major categories. Writing is number 1. Reading and rhetoric is number 2. And then speaking and listening and metacognition, skills that often overlap, is our 3rd category. None of the categories are weighted. It's just, you can tell how important a grade is in terms of its effect on this, or how important an assignment is in terms of its effect on a student's grade, basically by the point value associated with the assignments. So in terms of our writing category, that'll typically be 200 to 300 points per semester. Reading and rhetoric category will probably be around 100 points per semester, as will the speaking and listening metacognition category will also be about 100 points a semester. Obviously, these totals may vary, but I think that's a fairly good approximation. Let's take a look. what do you know? I think I've reached the end of my slides. I'm going to thank you for watching this video, and if you have any questions, please feel free to, of course, contact me by email, and thanks again. Take care.